Leeds get us underway in the shape of the boot of Kevin Sinfield, and underneath the kickoff on his own line is Joe Vangenaar, and the chase magnificent, but the power of Vangenaar there for all to see.
There's a Leeds player down. I don't know, can't quite see who it is. It's
Ryan Bailey.
Bailey has got a big hit. Well, a big fella just ran right over the top of him. Interesting, you know, yesterday, Eddie, remember when Connolly actually stole the ball? That set the scene for Wigan to control the match, and things like that can just twist it in the opening seconds. This is it. Bang! The elbow was lifted slightly from Vangenaar, not seen by the officials. They said it's okay.
And so we've reached the last tackle of the first set of 6, and the ball is drilled through, and it's bobbling its way past Calderwood. He does well, though. He gets out about 5 metres off the line before he's tackled. Quickly down to Bill, news of Bailey.
Eddie, I don't think Barry McDermott was anticipating getting involved this early on, but he's on the sidelines at the moment, ready to go on, and Bailey is still struggling to get to his feet, and he's in quite a lot of trouble there. He obviously got that all wrong when he went in on Joe Vangenaar there, and he's leaving the field now.
Meanwhile, a head-high shot on Chris Feather by Stuart Fielden is picked up by referee Carl Kirkpatrick.
Right into the throat. It's a big night for this fella, the man with the whistle.
It's a fiery opening.
Well, we saw last night. Blood and guts, wasn't it? Boy, that was a tough one. I think this is even going to be tougher.
The Bulls have Withers returning at fullback. Then it goes Reardon, Johnson, Harpy, Vinacolo, Price and Deacon. Forwards Vangenaar, Pratt and Fielden, Swan and Peacock in the second row, with Lee Radford operating at loose forward. Just a little tinker by Brian Noble. Paul, the captain, on the bench with Anderson, Langley and Parker. And Brian Noble is the coach. Now the Rhinos, Mathers, Calderwood, McKenna Senior bye. Maguire returns to the starting lineup alongside Duneman. It's Bailey, well it was, Diskin, McDonald, Ferner, Feather and Sinfield the skipper. And Burrow McDermott, who's now on, poaching, and Lauer TT, the coach, Tony Smith. This is Duneman for Leeds Rhinos, just 12 metres out, now 10 metres away as he's turned on his back by the tackle from Jamie Peacock. Matt Diskin is there, they go right, and it's a kick from Sinfield high, looking to test out Vinacolo, but the Volcano comes up with the ball.
Sheer quality, sheer strength, but a good build-up there by the Leeds Rhinos. Superb combination from the loose forward Kevin Sinfield and Andrew Duneman. Look at that, put under a lot of pressure, but the big fella says get out of the way.
Leslie Vinacolo, 14 tries in Super League, just 1 less than Danny Maguire.
This is the man that has to lead them. We saw Craig Smith last night really play out of his skin, and it's Joe Vangenaar certainly had a very, very good second half at St Helens last week. They have to get that superiority in the forwards. They know that. They've been lacking it throughout this season.
That was a terrific chase from Stuart Fielden. It halted Richie Mathers in his tracks. This now is Marcus Bye, and he's tackled by Leon Price. They're in centre field, the Rhinos, with MacDonald. And MacDonald does well to offload to Sinfield, who goes wide and looks for McKenna. And McKenna will cut in field, but the tackle comes in right on the halfway line. Barry McDermott's the dummy half. He finds Chris Feather. Feather drives it forward. It's again a little bit high from Fielden.
Not
into the Adams apple.
Not a little, it was a lot.
Diskin to Danny Maguire. What a stage for Maguire tonight.
What a tackle as well. They're getting right into the face. Interesting, you know, Brian Noble selecting a hooker, Carl Pratt. He's the type of man that can instill a lot more confidence and a lot more fire. The big fella's on again. Big Barry's put a hit on him.
And now Leslie Vinacolo gets the penalty, and Vinacolo applauding Barry McDermott, or was he applauding the referee?
Either way, he's got what he needed, and that was a penalty. Little doubt about it. Sinfield was very slow to release. Seems to be a problem with McKenna, who's holding that left arm.
Well, they've lost Ryan Bailey early, and a problem for McKenna. And here is Fielden for the Bradford Bulls. Carl Pratt in at hooker tonight, and he finds Shontaine Harpy, who tries to make ground through 2, and he does make ground, but he's eventually hauled down. Pratt again, the dummy half. Here is Paul Deacon, who attacked the St Helens defence last week and did so well in the second half. This is Vangenaar, halted by Chris Feather, who's all over his back. Carl Pratt will go down the narrow side, then he'll bring Vainikolo into it. This is Lee Radford.
Good job, Forner went through there. Half a break, the big fella's on his way to the line.
He dumps it back to Radford, and Radford is halted again by Stern Leeds defence, and that's great stuff from Leeds. That's the last tackle, and they pushed him back fully 7 metres then.
Surely the kick into the in-goal area.
It's with Deacon, and there is the little kick sideways, bounced over the top of Duneman, gobbled up though by Chris Feather.
I think you'll find it's a hooker there, Matt Diskin, that got back. He was in the sweeping role, as they should as well when they're in their own danger zone and their own quarter. But you just get the feeling that the Bradford pack tonight, they got a sniff of it in that second half against St Helens.
Oh, great ball from Ferner to Sinfield. Well, would you like to select the man of the match tonight? I wouldn't, because the stars out there galore. It falls to Andy Wilson and the men from the Rugby League media. Andy, early thoughts?
Well, the return of Michael Withers from injury should make a big difference for Bradford. They always look a much calmer team when he's around at the back. But it's these fascinating battles at standoff and hooker where the game could be won and lost tonight. Leon Price and Danny Maguire at standoff. And at hooker, we've got Matt Diskin against Carl Pratt, of course, a former Leeds teammate.
Thanks, Andy. We saw a forward pass.
A mile forward. How on earth has the official not picked that up? No indication of the momentum rule. You can see the shape of their hands. It was always going forward, and how on earth did the officials miss that?
They've actually given Bradford the possession on the last tackle because of the knock-on down the right-hand side.
Yeah, but they cheated another 15 metres.
Yes, they did. Reardon in centre field. On the run is Paul Johnson.
Oh,
what a hit from MacDonald and David Ferner. Deacon over the top, looking for the touchline on the far side, and he finds it.
Good thinking as well.
Well, the gauntlet is thrown down by both sides here, Steve-O. The hits have been hard.
Well, we knew it would be. And it's this fella, Paul Deacon, that makes sure the kicking game, as you've already mentioned, Eddie, last week, he really did get back to his best form, mainly due to the fact that Brian Noble allowed him a little bit more latitude. I've been calling for quite some time to make sure that he asked the question of the opposition defence. He certainly did that.
McKenna, I think, has gone off and poaching's come on. Let's check it out with Bill.
You're right, Eddie. McKenna just leaving the field at the Leeds end of the field, and Willie Poaching comes on again. So that's 2 Leeds changes in, forced Leeds changes already, and only 8 minutes gone. But thankfully for them, Ryan Bailey at least is on his feet. He's walking up and down the touchline, and obviously is shaking off that big knock he got earlier on. But McKenna is holding that left arm, and that doesn't look too clever for Leeds.
Well, it doesn't. That certainly isn't in the game plan for Tony Smith, Steve-O, to have to make 2 changes, 1 in the very first tackle and 1 in the 8th minute of this match.
Yeah, we'll be disappointed. Of course, it does upset the situation. So I do know that Tony Smith has got the tactics right at the moment. He's keeping the big star, and the big star is Danny Maguire, out of the action early. It's Duneman that's taking all the responsibility, but there is the man in question, Danny Maguire. What a chase and what a tackle.
Yes, Michael Withers dumped on his back by young Danny Maguire, and here now comes Lee Radford. Tackled by Diskin low and McDermott up at top.
Well, not only that, when he went to ground, he put the forearm right into the face. You can see that Leeds trying to turtle the opposition, trying to turn them around every time they're involved in a tackle. Good offload.
Great offload. Pratt then finds Vainikolo in centre field, and he'll take them on up the middle, and he gets it away brilliantly to Deacon, who goes underneath one challenge. And this is Radford. Radford, though, tackled by Duneman. Could have been a second effort. The referee gives them benefit. This is Leon Price then. Offside.
Well, why don't they give the advantage?
Well, he did, and he thought the Price was going down, and Leeds are lucky because Deacon was scampering away.
Well, that's amazing. Leon Price set off from the dummy half position. He's not stopped. How on earth can he give that? He must have him for offside, not getting the required 10 metres, because the tackle was not completed. Leon Price was still moving.
Yes, it was offside. He allowed the advantage to go until the tackle was effected, or at least the defender touched the the man in possession, Price.
That's all right if it had gone to ground.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. But
he should have played on.
He offloaded. It could have been 6, it might be 2 for Bradford. Paul Deacon lining up the shot here. Scored in each of the last 12 matches. Tries in 5 of them. But here he is now with his boot. 5 from 5 goals against St Helens last week. Paul Deacon, Great Britain international. Centre field, about 25 metres away from the posts. Should be 2 points for Bradford. And it is.
Should have been 6 though. Brian Noble will be very disappointed with that. Well, there's the man that got the 2 points. He took on the defence last week at St Helens. He's obviously doing the same thing, but it looks as though we're going to get the same from Leon Price. Always likes to get off from a flyer, but early in the game, Leon Price put himself in the dummy half position. That really should have produced a try.
Sinfield gets the game in motion again after the 2-pointer from Paul Deacon. Here comes Vangenaar. Phil Clark on the sideline. What a start for this match with injuries galore already for Leeds.
Eddie, yeah, I think it's fair to say that probably the Bradford side have made the better start of it, but the confidence of both sides is sufficient that either team could come from behind, even in the 70th minute, and win this game. I just think the speed and intensity with which Bradford are playing this game is just too much for Leeds at the moment. But hey, champion sides hang on in there, and that's what Leeds have got to do right now.
Here come Bradford with Price. Great run from Vinacolo, got them into this position, and from Lee Radford. It's Carl Pratt at dummy half, and Leon Price is hurt now. It's been a bruising encounter already. It's Fielden and McDermott and Duneman, and Leon Price has hurt his ribs by the looks. This is Carl Pratt, slides the kick in, picked up by Calderwood, who is immediately barreled by Shontaine Harpy.
Pretty tough take as well. That's good defence. Harpy coming in, Fielden adding the weight. But Leon Price, is it a cracked rib or is it just the rib cartilage? Either way, it is extremely painful.
The physio has already signalled to the bench she needs some assistance out there. Meanwhile, here come Leeds with McDonald, and over the top it goes to Sinfield, and he is grabbed by Vangenaar and dumped to the ground.
Great skills there from the big fella Wayne McDonald. Got halfway through the gap and then offloaded.
Good tackle by Logan Swan on David Ferner. Leon Price continues to receive treatment. That's a problem for the Bulls. Maguire with the kick downfield under pressure from Peacock. A wicked bounce, but then it bounces nicely for Withers. And Michael Withers brings it back to the Leeds defence. Referee calls time off. And I think there's a bit of blood over there. And it's Michael Withers, I think, that the referee wants cleaning up.
Meanwhile, Leon Price has been assisted from the field of play.
Well, that's definitely ribs. And he comes off, so it allows Robbie Paul to come on. His ankle is still pretty sore as Michael Withers comes to the side to get the bloody nose stemmed. What a big hit it was by Diskin in the ribs.
Got the shoulder well and truly into the rib cage. Either way, it looked in discomfort, though I must say there's very little you can do with it. It's not an injury that you can either strap or whatever. You just got to go through the pain barrier, simple as that.
Chip through was by Leslie Vinacolo, picked up by young Richie Mathers, who's outstanding this year, and Mathers is on the break. And eventually gets clattered to the ground, and that looked high from Withers. Maguire from dummy half. The little magician for Leeds, scampering away from them. Offside against Bradford now, bang in front of the sticks.
Good thinking as well by the standoff. Quick play the ball, but what a wonderful sidestepping run from the fullback, Richard Mathers. And there you see, Maguire took full advantage. He knew that as soon as he made contact, Carl Kirkpatrick, the official, had already said, well, they were offside. Never made any chance to make the 10, but look at this. The balance of this guy, in and out, swings it. See how he just swapped the ball at the right moment. Carl Pratt had to get back.
Great run from Richie Mathers. Tony Smith, earpiece in, watching from behind the sticks to the right-hand side as Kevin Sinfield lines this kick up. A try and 5 goals against Salford last Friday for the Leeds captain. and a try in 2 of 3 visits to Odsal last year. And there are the Leeds fans. They'll give him some support and some encouragement if this goes over, and it does. The scores are level here at Odsal. It's Bradford 2, Leeds 2. Sean McRae has joined us all the way from Hull on the eve of his big match tomorrow at Castleford. Sean, quality. That's the only thing you can say that we've seen on Sky Sports this weekend so far.
Yeah, we saw a fantastic game last night, Eddie, and I think, you know, we're going to see a great game here tonight. The ingredients are there, of course. Both big forward packs, plenty of ability to break the line, plenty of ability to score tries. And I think really tonight, Eddie, the battle is power of Bradford versus the speed and agility of the Leeds little men. And I think if Brian Noble's come up with a way of controlling people like Rob Burrows and Danny Maguire and Richie Mathers at the back, Mark Calderwood, Marcus by his pace, that will go a long way to them winning. If Tony Smith's been able to come up with a way of stopping Bradford's roll on with their big physical players coming through the middle of the ruck and just on the edges of the ruck, and that will go a long way to Leeds winning this game. But it's going to be a fantastic game. Just one thing of interest I picked up before the kickoff, the Bradford forward pack were out warming up about 10 minutes before anyone else came out, and they've certainly started that way as if they mean business.
And they do mean business, because there's the knock-on from Barry McDermott.
Yeah, big mistake there, especially in your own quarter. Just saying, Sean, is that Carl Pratt was also geeing them up. You know, they've missed Jimmy Lowe's, there's no doubt about that. And Carl Pratt's the type of personality
He's lost it.
To lift them.
Shontaine Harpy has lost it now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're right, Steve, and by all reports on Carl Pratt, he's a very, very infectious person in terms of his enthusiasm, and he gets there and you see his body language, and he gesticulates with his hands and his arms, and he really revs them up, and it didn't surprise me to see him starting at 9 tonight and bringing Robbie off the bench.
Well, the fact that Carl Pratt is up for this is no surprise. He's a former Leeds Rhino. He was allowed to leave, of course, by Darryl Powell last year, and since he has been here, he's won just about every honour in the game. And he loves to put one over his former club. Sinfield, meanwhile, is dropped to the ground.
On top of that, it brings a lot of fire to the side. You need somebody like that really just fires your mates, go forward, give it to them all the time. Duneman's involved very early. It's obviously a tactic by Tony Smith. We have yet to see Danny Maguire really coming to the attacking position.
Well, here he is now, Maguire, and there's a little chip over the top, but it's easy that for Vainicolo. It gives the big man the opportunity to go at Willie Poaching, the substitute, who's on for Chris McKenna. Remember, McDermott is on for the injured Ryan Bailey, so there have been disruptions to the Leeds plan here in the opening quarter of an hour.
Well, the one thing that has surprised me, that they've been targeting Leeds, Leslie Vainicolo's wing, and we've seen over the last 8-10 months maybe, the improvement of Vainicolo's positioning for the kicks. I'm surprised he even put pressure on it.
Anderson is on for Bradford. He played the ball there to Robbie Paul. This is Peacock, and Peacock got away from Senior, couldn't get away from Sinfield. Paul will drill it into the middle to Pratt, and Pratt will hoik it downfield. Mathers is after this, and Richie Mathers claims it behind his own line. Has work to do, and it's a great chase from Deacon.
Wonderful high kick as well. But
great work again.
The sad thing about it, there was only Deacon there. They were very slow, the rest of the players. The balls have got to be sharper than that.
And this now is Ali Lauatiti. We get our first look at the man that Gary Hetherington has described as the best Super League signing of all time.
Well, he's certainly got the ability to offload, one of the best in the game. He'll be a little bit ring rusty. Take a while for him to get into the swing of things.
Duneman's kick downfield. And Reardon allows it to bounce, and here is Sinfield, and this is Senior! Senior will score for Leeds!
He'll go to the screen.
Well, it's absolutely critical that you take this football on the full.
And the ground in here with the
at any time, forget about what make of or brand of the football it is. You cannot take the risk. He wants to see if they're onside. There's a few in front, isn't there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I can see.
But Senior's behind the ball.
Senior is behind the ball there.
Now where is Sinfield?
Does he give? You've got to see with any of those players in front, Do they stand back the 10?
Well,
Yes, they do.
No, Sinfield here, who gets this, he was in front of the kicker, I think.
Yeah, but was it 10 metres? And yes, he was in front of the kicker. It looks as though it's going to be given. Yep, no doubt about the grounding, but as you say, Sinfield was in front. But did he give the opportunity? Did he touch it?
Well, apparently the view is that Andrew Duneman, who put the kick up, ran forward and put them all onside. If it's a try, that'll be the case, and a try it is. Keith Senior with the try here. Such an important first touchdown for the Leeds Rhinos from Keith Senior, who got a try against Salford last week to end a 3-game blank spell.
Isn't it amazing? You know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, Eddie, we didn't see any bombs at all. We've seen 5 already, and you really can't make a mistake like that. That is not in the book. Stuart Reardon should have swallowed this. Now then, did Duneman put them all onside? I'm not so sure. I am not so sure that Duneman has actually put them onside. We'll see from the wide shot. This is the kicker. I don't think he does. There's the man that's run. Duneman's behind him. Yes, he's behind him. This is a controversial try. The crowd are booing. They know, they've seen it on the big screen also. It was only a matter of a metre. This is the attempt from Sinfield.
Yes, Sinfield looking for the extras. He just shaved the post the wrong side. So it's Bradford Bulls 2, Leeds Rhinos 6. The try is given by Keith Senior. And the video referee, Steve Cross, says that Andrew Duneman ran forward and put everyone onside. But I'm with you, Steve-O. Sinfield was in front of the kicker and Duneman never got in front of Sinfield. Controversy again, well, but still.
They're only human, Eddie, but it looked that way to me. Duneman just held off at the vital moment.
He didn't hair his way down.
No, he didn't. He just trotted through, and Sinfield was about a metre in front. Another controversial decision by the officials, and this really will have stirred up this Bulls outfit. They needed to be. They were in total control of that. But it always gets down when these big, heavy games come along. You've got to take your chances.
And that's what Leeds have done. And here is Lauatiti. And he gets the ball away, but it was not on, really. Ali Lauatiti, the Michael Jordan of rugby league, they call him, for handling skills like that, but well, impossible, that situation.
Yeah, I don't know where the knock-on came, though. There didn't appear to be any knock-on by a Leeds player then. He offloaded it, and it was the big fella, Paul Anderson, that touched it next.
Let's get down to Phil Clark.
Eddie, I was talking to one or two of the Leeds backroom staff as a scrum goes against the head. That's a rarity in rugby league before the match, and they said that they upset Keith Senior last night. I was saying that I thought Martin Gleeson was the best centre in the country at the moment. Well, Keith wants to prove me wrong tonight, and he's got that first controversial try. Look for a big game from him tonight. Well,
the Bradford Bulls fans will be saying thanks very much, Phil, because here comes Kevin Sinfield.
But that's a sin, Eddie. In this modern day, the way you feed the pack, to get one against the head, it's ludicrous.
Chris Feather. There's obviously a big push on at the scrum by the Leeds pack.
It was a blindside prop that just struck for it.
Duneman, he goes wide and he finds Poaching. Poaching! Gets there for the second Leeds try.
No problem at all.
Willie Poaching off the bench earlier than Tony Smith would have wanted. And he got a try in a 22-21 defeat here last September. He knows his way to the try line, does Willie Poaching at Odsal.
Well, this is the controversial loss against the head. They both had several opportunities to get it out. Very, very rare indeed. But this is not rare. Poaching knows all about going through. Shontaine Harpy, he went high. Watch this. Go high on the fella. He should have gone low for the leg straight away, but what a great effort by Poaching. Super stuff. You got to hit them low. If they're near to the line, yes. but it was about 5 metres out. Momentum took him there. Nothing controversial about that. That was superb play by this fella.
Willie Poaching, the Samoan international, captain of Samoa in the World Cup of 2000. And that is an absolutely priceless try for Leeds. It gives them a 10-2 advantage. This kick to come from Kevin Sinfield. 3 goals against the Bradford Bulls at Easter for Kevin Sinfield at Headingley. He's come up with 1 penalty goal tonight. This is his 3rd attempt. Another difficult kick though, way out on the far touchline. This has got chances. This has got 2 points. Bradford 2, Leeds Rhinos 12.
Super conversion at a vital moment. The first try to senior was controversial, should not have been given. The video referee disagreed with my comments, but he's the man in charge, and there's the man who has stretched the lead to 10 points. Willie Poaching does it all so often, running out wide. Big and strong, hard to stop. It's going to be a big ask now for the Bulls to dig themselves out of this hole.
Well, they nearly dug themselves out of the hole at Knowsley Road last week. They gave St Helens a good start, but Leeds, Sean McRae, they really do look up for this, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. You know, you need a bit of luck to win games, don't you? And, you know, sometimes decisions go for you, sometimes they go against you, but certainly the ability of Willie Poaching to play on the centre would have been questioned by a lot of people in terms of his lateral speed and the fact that he's had to come on and play, probably going to play the best part of 80 minutes now. And, you know, you see him more as a power player, and of course that try is a great example of power personified. But I just think we've had a situation again where we see it often in games where one side dominates possession for 5 or 6 minutes and the fatigue factor comes in defensively. Bradford just don't seem to have had the ball to me for the last 5 or 6 minutes. They desperately need to get it back.
It's with Lauatiti because Carl Pratt put the elbow in the face of Marcus Bai, gave Leeds a penalty, easy yards for them, and this is Diskin.
And I just get the feeling that Leeds haven't started to open up yet, and that's the reason why he's thrown out Rob Burrow out there.
Duneman almost through. Tackle is now completed. He got away from Swan. He couldn't get away from Deacon. There is Rob Burrow. Here is Danny Maguire. It goes over the top of Lauatiti to David Furner, and Furner spins in the tackle as he's grounded by Jamie Peacock. This is Diskin. Here is Maguire. Lovely kick to the corner. Senior was taken out. It's a goal line dropout.
Wonderful pressure. Maguire looked as though he was going to pass it. Johnson certainly put Senior off balance, as you can see there. Reardon got back in time. He had to be. I mentioned the fact that it surprised me that Leeds would attack in, remember, the big fella Leslie Vinacolo, when really they should have pinpointed this fella. And the first time that they did, Reardon allowed it to bounce. Result, Senior try. The tactics have changed.
Oh, Mathers! He was going backwards, and it's a knock-on. Well, they go to him, the captain, Kevin Sinfield, says, never mind, forget about it now.
It's a simple mistake, but a vital one too.
He's furious with himself.
Well, he is, because he knows he's done the wrong thing. As soon as that ball was coming towards him, he just had a little glance to see who was coming to get involved in the tackle.
Let's get some news on Leon Price, Bill.
Bulls look likely to have to be without Leon for the rest of the game. It turns out that Dr. Stevenson was correct. He's popped a rib cartilage. Amazing.
Ah, he's a medical man, my friend. This is Anderson. Here goes Carl Pratt again. Goes wide to Logan Swan. Pratt waits at dummy half on the 3rd tackle. Finds Deacon. Deacon then to Robbie Paul, who pops it to Michael Withers. Withers taking on Senior. And certainly Phil Clark has stung Keith Senior with his comment last night that Martin Gleeson is maybe the best centre in Great Britain at the moment. Keith Senior's on a mission here, and so now is Anderson.
And the Bulls are certainly looking for that. They've got to make sure it's a good kick. They've got to try to get consecutive sets of 6 here.
Deacon wide, looking for Vinacolo. Calderwood clutches it out of the air. Penalty. Penalty, says the referee. He shouted, play the ball.
Yeah.
And they pulled him over the whitewash.
Well, they just. Good work there by Calderwood. just got to... Well, he was about to get in. Was he still moving? That's what this fella, Vinicolo, said, that he was still moving. Well, the rub of the green is going the Rhinos' way, but at 12-2, Tony Smith will be more than happy.
You know, the success that Bradford Bulls have had in the summer hurts Leeds Rhinos more than any other club in the business. 5 trophies to Odsal since 1996, just one, the Challenge Cup in 1999 to Leeds, although Leeds did contest the very first grand final at Old Trafford in 1998 when they lost narrowly to Wigan. This is Duneman playing well, and he finds Calderwood.
Just got to tighten the defence a little bit, Bradford. There's quite a few of them just going a little bit too high. That look forward. It certainly has been picked up by the touch judge on that far side.
I think the crowd got the Bradford Bulls that, Steve. I'm not sure that that wasn't just a flat pass. You have to look at his hands.
And we'll see it here. Yep.
Well, at that angle, it looked forward. But
yeah. That's why they don't go to the screen for forward passes, Eddie, because it's very, very difficult. But the touch judge was in a good position. We lambast the officials if they don't pick it up.
Absolutely.
And when we do, you lambast them.
No, I just wasn't 100% sure it was forward.
The officials were, and that's enough.
Vinicolo for Bradford, over halfway.
Well, he's been about the only player in the Bradford side that's created any sort of problems.
Robbie Paul's creating a problem here, but that's good defence in the end from Feather.
Well, that should be a penalty. He was holding him down.
Deacon, Diskin with the tackle.
The one thing that is missing from this Bradford attack is the amount of dummy runners making it happen. And that is not making it happen. That was a foolish pass.
From Robbie Paul, and it was dropped on by Willie Poaching of Leeds. This is Richard Mathers now.
They're getting to a point where you can see there that they'd overrun the ball. They're getting to a point where they're launching their attack, but there's no one trying to confuse the Leeds defence. It's all right getting it out wide, but you've got to be going forward as well.
There's hardly an inch to breathe in this. You've got to have electric, quick thought to play in this match at this level. That's a great ball. Oh, and Sinfield, Calderwood overrun it. The pass from Duneman wasn't forward on that occasion.
I think Duneman was looking to see that Poaching was coming short, or was it Sinfield that came? And
so you see that angle? That made it look like a forward pass, but it wasn't.
Went over the whitewash. Controlling things out there. There's a skipper, Kevin Sinfield, directing the attack very, very impressively.
I think, Steve, you just get to see a chance in the last few minutes. Maybe the game turning slightly in Bradford's favour. They're getting a little bit of field position, some better quality possession, and maybe one or two of the Leeds players just beginning to fatigue slightly as we approach the half-hour mark. And the last 10 minutes here now, a big question mark here for the Leeds side. Both these teams set very high standards for themselves, and they really want to live up to those in this closing half.
It's Bradford who have the first opportunity in the last 10 minutes to examine the defence with Peacock. And Peacock gets to within 5 metres of the line. Now this is a chance for the Bulls. It's Robbie Paul. He went one way, came back the other. Michael Withers. Withers! So close. Last one. Paul to Carl Pratt. And there's the kick wide. It's looking for Vinicolo. He'll pat it back to Shontaine Harpy. Back it goes to Vinicolo. He flicks it in field and over the top and out.
Well, the ball played the man. Not happy, Brian Noble, over a lot of things. Bradford think that they've got head and ball, but I don't think that the man actually went for the football here.
Wait for me.
I think Duneman was just getting himself involved, and it wasn't the last, so it will be the turnover. Brian Noble far from impressed. I think Brian was looking for the kick a little bit after that. Once they got it out onto that wing, maybe there should have been someone there to help.
Leeds Rhinos top of the table and in great form. They've won the last 3 and 11 of 12 in Super League to top the table. And the Bulls know that victory here will open up a 7-point gap between them, and the Bulls have to go back to Headingley in August.
The one thing about the Rhinos, that their confidence to get over the advantage line, to give them into a position where that when they do come to the last in the kick, they really are turning the Bulls around.
Duneman. Swan was high.
More of a grab than a swing, but it was right into the face. It was right under the neck, wasn't it? Well, we've seen a lot of this last night, and it seems to have continued here. I was critical of the official last night, Mr. Smith, Ian that is. I think they had something like 15 head-eye tackles. Not one mention of bringing the two captains to have a little bit of a natter. I think we'll find that Carl Kirkpatrick will be doing that if this continues. But these are good tactics. Slow it all down. Take the two on offer.
Well, Duneman and Mr. Kirkpatrick having a smile about the penalty award.
They look very much alike, don't they?
Who do?
Duneman and Mr. Kirkpatrick. Same profile.
I think somebody ought to ring the opticians for you first thing Monday morning.
We'll take a look.
Sinfield lining up this kick. And he's got another 2 points to the Leeds total. Bradford 2, Leeds 14. There's Carl Kirkpatrick.
Stay tidy, fellas.
There's Andrew Duneman. The likeness is striking.
It is. Same nose, same eyebrows, same chin.
Well, a look-alike competition, and I don't think, Sean, that Mr. Kirkpatrick and Mr. Duneman would be twins.
I wouldn't be picking them that way, Eddie. That's for sure. But,
I didn't say they were twins. I said they look alike.
yeah, well, they might see the same. But it's an enthralling game, isn't it? I mean, it's just again, it's a case of I think Bradford just not having enough possession, particularly in the second half of this of the first 40 minutes, and you know they'd really like to go in at half time with a try on the board.
Sean, it's surprising me that Bradford, they're getting plenty of width, but they're just not getting the forwards going in the middle and sucking in the Leeds defence. They're having no problems with it, have they?
No, they're not. Bradford play a sort of a game where they, you know, obviously they like to dominate physically, and they like to bend the line or break the line, and then everybody tends to play off that. And I think if they were just to push up a little bit more, they might actually create a few more options for the ball players like Robbie Paul, for example. And I'm just not sure that they've done that well enough. And maybe Brian Noble will.
It's easy. That was easy for David Furner. But why didn't he feed Maguire?
I think he was just quite happy to take possession. When you're leading 14-2, there's no real reason to force the pass. Poor kick. Should have been into the deck, right on the deck. There's no chance that the opposition can get to it. Can bounce all over the joint.
Great offload from McDonald to Burrow. And Rob Burrow trying to burrow his way through the line. Oh, and then slammed into the ground by Paul Johnson. Marcus Bye waits at dummy half. Comes down the short side.
Good work. Quick play the ball. They catch in Bradford.
This is Burrow. This is Outlaw Titi. Finds Diskin, who finds Duneman. And wide it goes to Poaching. And that went backwards off Shontaine Harpy, says Mr. Kirkpatrick. Bradford breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, can they counter-attack? They really have to get their forwards shifting forward.
Langley, dummy half. Parker.
This flat attack from Bradford is not working.
Remember last week, Bradford trailed 24-6 at one stage against St Helens, and they got back to within 5 points at the end. They so nearly got a famous win. But there'll have to be a dramatic improvement from Bradford here because Leeds are out muscling them.
Yeah, with St Helens, obviously they were tiring in that second half. I think that was proved with the performance last night. Not taking anything away from the Wigan win, it was outstanding. But Leeds, they'll go the full 80. Don't worry about that.
Kick over the top. Mathers picks it up. And Mathers will counter for the Rhinos. 10 good metres made. Danny Maguire at dummy half. Keith Senior. Good strong run again from Senior.
Make that point at 14-2. They look to be in control of this game, and I still don't think that Leeds have got out of third gear.
Marcus Bai didn't really play that ball properly. Lauatiti gets it away to Ferner. Ferner did well to come inside and stay within the field of play. The touchline was very close to him. It's with Maguire and McDonald. McDonald muscles it over the halfway line again for Leeds and slips the pass to Diskin, who in turn gives it to Maguire. And Maguire gives it to Lauatiti. And Lauatiti offloads to Burrow. And here is Ferner. This is promising for Leeds. Maguire over the shoulder. Back it goes to Lauatiti. Lauatiti for Leeds.
What a try! You chance your arm. You try to give it there. He wants to see if there's any obstruction.
First try for Lauatiti. Leeds think, since his big money arrival in this country from the NRL in Australia and the New Zealand Warriors.
Certainly no touch in it. Diskin was going for the football. It was kicked up by the fullback Michael Withers. Flicked away
back by Senior.
Yes, it was. And a simple run to the line. But Lauatiti, he was involved earlier with a wonderful little offload. They've opened up, he says. I'm taking the 4.
And he's going to get the 4.
Of course he is.
The try for Leeds, and delirium on the terraces amongst the Rhino supporters. Ali Lauatiti, the New Zealand international, and Brian Noble with work to do again at half-time for the champions. And Lauatiti with the try, right on the bell.
It deserved 4 points, though. This is the 4th pass. This will be the 5th one here. Oh, it was superb, wasn't it? That's 6. Look at the pass from Lauatiti. 7. Then that's 8. Not the best one here as it comes through. You can put that down as 9. Round it all up with 10. It gets him 4. TRY. They're buzzing. They're confident. They're scoring tries. The Bulls, they look beaten. You're right, Eddie. Brian Noble has got one heck of a job.
Kevin Sinfield has missed the conversion. So it's only 18-2, but Lauatiti with the try. His last was for the New Zealand Warriors against Manly in March. Here he is on the Super League stage. And Ali Lauatiti, his try makes it 18-2, and Brian Noble's stern of face. And no doubt will have words to say to his charges. But what a first half for the Rhinos. Magnificent play from them. They have run in 3 tries. The Bradford Bulls, frankly, haven't threatened the line. And Leeds, they come off in a group. They travel in a group. They walk off in a group. They play as a team, and this